This is the second small group discussion with J. Krishnamurti in Bangalore, 1973.
Dr. Murthy, sir, and next is Dr. Chandrasekhar is my brother, and Dr. Subramanya, and Dr. Varma you met yesterday, and Dr. A.G. Krishna. The rest of them you already know.
Sir, out of ignorance, I've been asking some of these questions. I've heard your lectures, a series of lectures, and read your books. But to me, one thing I do not understand. You have asked us to think independently for ourselves, forgetting what has been passed down as a heritage by the various scriptures.
Sorry to stop in the middle of it.
You have asked us more than once and repeatedly that we should think independently for ourselves, find our own ways independently, rather than to tread the path of people who have already beaten it or paved for us, such as we have the guidelines from the various scriptures, Vedas. For myself, I am a psychiatrist professionally, but I have thought over and over again, can we forget what has been passed down to us, both as a heritage and training? I believe in the conditioning and deconditioning theories, that what I am today is I have been conditioned to the various environments, learning by various of do's and don'ts from my parents, by my teachers, by my gurus, by my elders, and readings also, which we have think that it is sacred because my parents said that, my gurus said that. I have learnt lots of things through them. Probably my own talking to you now is not my own words. It is maybe somebody else's words which I have been giving to you. But you ask us to forget this and think and beat the path for ourselves each time. I find it very hard to even to think of these ways. And sometimes you mentioned also, I think last time in Lal Bagh, about the values of the Vedas and the scriptures. I was really hurt also because I'm a blind man. I have a small stick with which I keep going, and even that has been taken away because of your talk. Now I want you to guide me, so that's why I come here.
So if I may ask, guide you to where?
No, I have been in darkness. I told you, even that little stick I had, you have taken it away. Your talks were quite impressive, and even that stick is gone. I'm a blind man without a stick now. And many maybe they tired of this stick.
So I would like, if I may ask, is blindness real, or because you have no stick and therefore you think you are lost, which is the fact? actually?
Sir, I have been using this prop all my lifetime.
Then somebody,
Good or bad?
somebody comes and takes away that prop.
Yes.
Then what do you do?
I have to find another stick.
Is it another stick or find a way of living without stick? Without a stick.
It depends upon my ability, sir.
So, sir, if I may a little bit inquire, what is ability? How does ability come into being? In the doing.
Sir, I have learnt all these things all my lifetime till now. This is a conditioning process. I am just a reflex animal, if I can put that. Just a physiological animal, because even this way of talking, probably I have read somewhere, learned somewhere, which is deep in my memory. It comes out periodically with a little stimulation. But this.
Then what is the problem, sir? Problem is, from what you say, our minds are conditioned very heavily, and anybody shaking that conditioning is a factor of great disturbance. And we don't want to be disturbed. We'd rather go on in the same old pattern, and anybody who comes and disturbs that pattern, we not only feel slightly antagonistic, but also sense of what am I to do next? Is that the question, sir?
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying what should I do next. The little faith I had, which gave me comfort all these years.
That's just it.
Maybe the rituals, maybe the beliefs.
Yes, sir. Sir, put yourself in the place of a Catholic or a Protestant or a Buddhist or a Muslim. They've all got these conditionings.
Yes.
They all resist any form of change. They would rather remain in their pattern, which may cause a great deal of mischief, but they would rather remain in that. Though it might bring wars, it might bring hatred, all the antagonisms, anxiety, but they would rather remain in that. So we are saying, all people say, don't for God's sake leave it alone. Don't come and disturb. When you do disturb and take away something, put in its place a new stick, a new prop, a new crutch, a new belief. Don't take everything away. Is that what you're saying, sir?
If it's a new belief, if I'm initiated to that, probably I may accept, sir. But you ask me to think for myself what is right, what is wrong. Find my own way.
No, sir. There is no your way and my way. Wait, what?
Way for the introspection,
Wait.
if you can call it self-realization, the purpose of life, the meaning of life.
So just a minute, we are using words, I'm going to have I may be. So what is actually the problem? You come along and disturb my props, my structure in which I have lived for 40, 50, 60 years, and that structure has been put together by man, wisdom and lack of wisdom, but it's been put together by man through centuries and centuries, of which I am part. Right, sir? And you come and say, leave all that. Right, sir? And first of all, I don't know how to leave it because it's part of me. The structure is me. Right, sir? And you come and shake the structure, and I am lost. Right, sir? Now let's proceed step by step. Is the structure different from me?
In what sense are you using me, sir?
Me who says I am lost.
No, it's the same.
Then what? Then why do we introduce the word lost? If I am the structure and the structure is shaken, is falling to pieces, what is the factor of resistance?
It's variable from individual to individual.
What, sir?
It is variable from individual to individual, his faith, his learning.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am a Catholic. Let me take that. Supposing I'm a devout, practicing Catholic. With all my 2,000 years of propaganda, 2,000 years of priestly sanctions, all the rest of it. I am profoundly conditioned in that way. I happen to listen to you, and I see something in what you are saying to be true. Right, sir? And I am shaken by what you say. And I say to myself, I'm really lost. Am I to let go all the things that I have learned? All the things that I have been told? Which is, am I really to let go the past completely? We'll put the word past to include all the... So, then I begin to question, is the past different from me? Me who feels lost, who feels hurt, who feels uncertain, who feels confused. The past is me. That's no doubt about it. Past is me. So I am living in the past. Right, sir? And the past has sustained me. The past has nourished me. The past is structurally making my life possible. The past is shaping my action, my thoughts, my whole way of life. So my life is the past. You come along and tell me, look, that's not the way to live. You tell me the past cannot possibly understand anything new. Right, sir? And the new is the creative life, not the past. Right, sir? And I don't know how to let go of the past. I see logically, intellectually, if you can use that word, that nothing new can take place in the field of the past. Right, sir? And I don't know how to let the past go. I can find a substitute to the past. Another past, you follow what I mean? Another structure born of the past, but is still the past. So, how am I to let the past go? I see the past cannot be the creative thing, creative in the sense something new. The past cannot possibly understand a new challenge, right? So there is a conflict between the challenge and the past, right, sir? I'm not persuading you to anything.
No. I mean, I would like to listen. Probably I'll put my doubts a little later. Kindly, please continue.
So there I'm left there. I see the challenge is new, and I don't respond to it adequately. Therefore, there is conflict. Right, sir? And I say, what am I to do? I don't know how to let the past go. Right? It may have value. It may have helped me for guidance and so on. But it's still the past. Right, sir? So I have to find out what is the past. What is so significant in the past. Right, sir? So what is significant in the past? What I have been told, what my father, my priest, my gurus, my history, all that has told me and I've learned, of which I am a part. Right, sir? So how am I to understand the past, see the significance of the past, and has the past any value? I'm questioning it. I'm not saying it has no value. Has the past any value? The past being, what is the past, sir? Experience? Or the statement in some book according to which I have lived? Right? Why should I live according to a statement in a book? It may be the New Testament Upanishads, all still older. Why should I live according to a book? How do I know that they are true? So may I put the question differently? If there was no book, no guru, what would you do?
Maybe I would have explored, experimented, and tried to find my own path.
Not, is there your path and my path? That's what I'm questioning. Or there is no path at all?
Well, I should think that when I find something for myself, I think I call it's my path. I always put that word mine.
You see, that's what I'm trying to, my path and your path. So what shall I do, sir? I've read so many books, conformed my thought according to those books, shaped my action according to those books, be guided by somebody who says he knows. Therefore, I have lived according to an authority which I accept because others have said it is good. Right? But I reject authority. reject, you understand?
Yes.
To me, authority has no meaning except in the technological field. In other fields, authority is most destructive, at least I see the truth of that. So I reject authority. Then what shall I do? Knowing that I am the past, you follow, sir? That I have conformed, imitated, adjusted myself to the pattern of the past. And I suddenly realize authority has no meaning. Right? I don't know if you realize. I realize authority, except in the technological field, has no meaning at all. When you say, as my guru, that you know, how do I know that you know?
You do not believe in organization or presumption of any fact.
What, sir?
You do not believe in organization or presumption of any fact.
Organization is not a question of belief. We need organization. Otherwise, you couldn't come here.
Quite.
I was sitting here. So, organization is necessary, but organization to shape man's thought. You follow, sir? To make man think in a certain way, or organized belief, church, you follow the whole thing. I think that is most destructive to freedom.
Sir, if the meaning, the authority, word authority, if it could be subdued, or if it is an unwritten code of conduct, authority, would you accept the organizations and the various whether I would call facts or at least the information, if you don't like the word facts, which is being passed on to us over generations? Would you accept some of them? And then do you think you organize your thoughts, the future thought processes, on the basis of the past experience, past learning, past heritage? Or would you totally reject the past?
No, I can't reject the past, sir. How can I reject the past? I am the result of yesterday through today, which is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
I can't reject it. I'm born as a Hindu or a Muslim. What shall I do? Keep to that? Be a Muslim for the rest of my life? Knowing where there is division between a Hindu and a Muslim, there must be conflict. Not only wars, but various minor kinds of wars. Must I hold on to my Muslim? Or must I say, by Jove, I see what it does and put away from it. Move away from it. No?
Well, it's very difficult for me to comprehend this idea, sir, because before I think of something else, I have to keep my feet on the ground, that is, on the experience of the past. Keep it.
So my experience of the past says I must remain a Muslim. Because all my community, my wife, my children, my society I live in is Muslim. Right? And the Muslim, the mentality of the Muslim and the mentality of the Hindu breed war. Right? So I say, and I don't like to kill people. whether Vietnam or Pakistan. I don't want people killed.
But do you think that this has been taught in the various religions to kill people?
What?
It has not been taught in the basic religion to kill people, to destroy.
Basic religions have said don't kill.
Yes.
Right. But we do kill.
So the basic religion is not wrong.
But that's nothing to do with it. The fact is I kill.
I kill because in the name of the religion I kill. It doesn't mean that I represent religion.
No, in the name, because I am a Muslim, I kill the Hindu. My Allah or Quran might have said don't kill. But the fact is I kill.
So would you blame the religion?
I don't blame the religion. I say as long as I remain a Muslim, I am responsible for killing.
No, sir. That is not the logic. I think I do not agree with you, sir.
Why not, sir?
I am a Muslim. I have the teachings of the religion. It doesn't say to kill people. Maybe my contemporaries have killed. It doesn't mean I represent them. It doesn't mean that I follow them.
No, sir, but as long as I remain a Muslim and the Muslim state fights a Hindu state, I am responsible. Because I contribute to killing. I pay tax. I encourage separation. I am a nationalist. What the sacred books say, or books, I have nothing to do. The fact remains that I am encouraging killing. But that's a fact, sir.
Then do you mean to say that I have been responsible for these various wars because I pay tax to this country?
Of course. You support the government, you support the military through tax, of course you're responsible.
Sir, man has got two parts of lives. One is a personal life, the other is a social life.
Personal life and collective life. And as long as I'm maintaining the collective life, I'm responsible. So this has been it's gone into by every pacifist in the world. As long as I am an Englishman opposed to Germany, whether I am an individual, I am part of that system, therefore I am killing. So the question arises, shall I not pay tax? If I don't pay tax, they put me in prison. Take away my things or put me in prison or shoot me. Right, sir? And is that sufficient reason to get shot? Not paying tax? There's much deeper issue involved in this. So I pay tax and attack the deeper issue, which is nationalism, which is separation, which is religious divisions and so on, so on. That is the deeper issue, the economic and so on. Not paying tax. I won't go to jail for not paying tax. I will I will concern myself with the deeper issue that separate man. The deeper issue is you are a Hindu and I'm a stupid Muslim. All the wars of Christians have killed probably most people in the world, right? And the Hindus have also killed. And I say human beings to kill each other is the most appalling thing to do. In the name of whatever it is. So what shall I do? go back to the past and said, my past says I'm a Hindu and I'm going to stay in that field, and your past says remain in the Muslim field, and put hedges, barriers. You follow, sir? No.
I do not think any of these religions asked us to
But
erect
sir,
hedges and
religions have nothing to do with it. The fact remains that I remain a Hindu and somebody else remains a Christian. Books may say don't love each other, be kind to each other, don't hurt, but we do hurt. We do bully, we tear each other to pieces.
That is the basal quality of ourselves.
Therefore, let's concern with that, not with the books. Why is a human being prone or inclined to be aggressive, violent? That is the problem, not the book.
Is there nothing to learn from the books?
Sir, I haven't read any books. Right?
I know, sir.
Huh?
I know very well.
And I don't want to read these books because I have nothing. I want to deal with life as it is and move from there. See, if life can be changed as it is.
But there could be very few people blessed by God like you.
Sir, we are all blessed. I'm not there. So what shall I do, sir? A man who is heavily conditioned by the past must remain there.
I'm not asking for remaining there, sir, but even then the change is from one to the other.
Therefore, let's find out how to break through this conditioning without falling into another conditioning.
That again would be a condition, isn't it, sir?
Huh?
A new era.
No, let's find out if there is a possibility of changing our conditioning without being caught in another trap. Is that possible? If we could spend less time on that, it would solve our problem.
I would say it is not possible for this reason. Our instrument of expression itself is, each word has a history. And
So there is the linguistic barrier, language shapes our mind, the word
is conditioned.
controls our thought. So I have to find out whether the word is the thing. So I describe the mountain. But the description is not the mountain.
It's some other reality.
And not other reality. The description is not the mountain. Right? The door, the word door is not the fact, the door. I don't.
Yes.
So I begin to see that the mind gets caught in the trap of words, linguistic trap. Right, sir? Sorry. So the mind says I must be watchful not to be caught in the description, in the symbol, and not with the fact. I don't. The description is not the fact. The word is not the fact. But we get caught in the word. This is simple. And the book is the word.
doesn't these descriptions take you to nearer to the fact?
Oh,
Nearer to the mountain?
never. I have to walk to the mountain, not the description. That's what they say, sir, when they take drugs. I know a man, he's dead now, he said, I have taken mescaline, LSD, all these, hoping to have an experience of the real. You follow, sir? And he jolly well knows that induced state of experience is not the real. But it goes through that. Why should I go through the symbol to come to the real?
Then what's the use of the descriptions at all?
What?
What is the use of these descriptions at all? At least if it doesn't model your thought, basically.
Yes, sir. Now wait a minute. Description is a means of communication.
True.
Huh? Isn't it? I describe the mountain, and I tell you that the description is not the mountain. So I communicate with you through words, through description. And I know the word is not the thing. But you get caught in my description. And I said, don't do that. Use the description to see the real.
I was only giving word as an example. Practically any other experience that we take are conditioned from feeling.
Obviously, sir. When you use the word experience, what do you mean by that?
My feeling under a certain circumstance.
You are feeling under certain circumstances. Is that experience?
That registered in the brain.
No, sir. Look, sir. The word itself means to go through. The word experience means to go through. Now, what is experience? I hit you. That's an experience, right? I insult you. That's an experience. I flatter you. Or you have an accident in a car. That's an experience. Right?
Yes.
And you remember the experience. The incident leaves a mark in your mind, in your brain. Right, sir? And that experience remains accumulated, and many, many other experiences. So what? Is there any new experience? Sorry. And if it is something new, will you recognize it as new?
If something new happens, I should be able to recognize, but it is always tallying with the previous experience.
Which means if a new experience happens and you recognize it, it is not new.
It is as different. I'll recognize that as different.
But it's not new.
It's a permutation and combination of our past experiences.
Yes, sir, but it's not new. Something new you can't experience. Experience implies that you recognize it. sorry to be so. Otherwise, you can't recognize. If you can't recognize it, there is no new experience. That's why when the gurus and the people say, I have experienced reality, you follow, sir? Then they have recognized the reality, right? According to what has been said, according to what they have learned, and therefore it's not new. This is.
In that case, all our experiences are again a permutation and combination of the past. As you said, it's a description of the mountain. Now I go to the mountain to see the reality. Then again, how do I register that, sir?
How do I?
Register the mountain.
You don't. That is the point.
The experience is again a registration of the visual, auditory.
Sir, that's understood, visual, auditory and all the rest of it. You cannot experience truth. Sorry.
We can only live now. That is
I know. Not live now. You. So truth is not a fixed point, right? Therefore, what will you do? If it's not a fixed point, then what is it? It's only a dead thing that can be fixed, pinned down. But a living thing you can't say, I have experienced truth. It's living, moving.
Then would you contradict the definition of the truth according to the Hindu scriptures, sir?
Oh,
Satya, which is...
I know nothing about it.
No. Would you contradict then in that case? If that is a fixed thing, then it's a dead thing, then that means Satya is a dead thing. And
Of course it is, if it's a fixed thing.
Can't we subconsciously identify it?
Huh?
Don't we feel happy when we know that there is a little better feeling than the usual? Can't we say that is the truth? Something unusual.
Sir, would you rely on your unconscious?
Or subconscious, you would like to.
Or would you rely on your conscious mind? Would that anything that gives it pleasure is true?
To a certain extent, yes.
Ah, no, be careful. Sir. Anything that gives pleasure is true?
No, not pleasure, I would say. No.
Or anything that is unpleasurable, not pleasurable, is true?
Can I ask?
Yes, sir, please. We're discussing, so don't
Yes.
wait for
If truth cannot be experienced, how
sir,
would we...
do see the truth of it, not just I say
No,
so.
no, that's what I'm taking it. But how do we get to know it? This is what I want.
What?
How do we get to know truth?
So, the moment you say to know,
It's out.
what does the word know mean?
No, if no is limited, that means my thought process.
No, sir.
Knowledge.
Look, sir, I know you because I met you yesterday.
And you have knowledge of
No,
me.
just I met you yesterday. Therefore, there is the memory of my meeting you yesterday.
Yes.
Between yesterday and today, when we meet now, you might have changed tremendously.
Yes.
So I can never say I know you.
That's right. You knew me then.
I said very carefully, I met you yesterday. That recognition remains. But when I meet you today, you might have undergone tremendous change.
can we experience the change?
No, sir. So I can never say I know you.
No.
But sir, go into it much deeper
Yes.
in that. So I can never say I know truth. Oh my God, that would be the greatest evil on earth, to say I know truth.
Can we get glimpses of truth? Momentary.
Huh?
Can we have momentary contact with truth?
You can't, sir. Oh, but look, sir, what is truth? Said the pilot. Huh? What is truth? That is true, isn't it?
Yes.
You sitting there is true. Then what is true? What is it that we are talking about? What is truth? When I see something false, that is true. Right? When I tell a lie and I know I'm telling a lie, that is the truth. No? You all look puzzled.
No.
You have found it.
So what is truth? To be attentive to the fact as it is taking place,
Yes.
which may be changing all the time. So, sir, to go back, what am I to do? Being a Catholic, nurtured in that belief, encouraged my fears and all that, to remain in that conditioning. And you remain in your conditioning, I remain in my conditioning. Right, sir? So separation breeds conflict, right? Now, is it possible to be free of this separation? That is the real question, not what the books say. If I want to live at peace with the world, the world being you, the world is being me, I must have no conflict whatsoever.
Is it ever possible?
Why not?
Because the ways of thinking separate. What is true for you will not be true for me.
No. Does your way of thinking differ from mine?
Yes.
Why? Does it? No, wait a minute, sir. Let's examine it. Does it?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure.
Because you have not learned through books, you have learned through your experience. I have learned through books.
No, sir. Is your thinking different from mine? Thinking, not thinking about.
Process is the same.
Sir, no.
Thinking process is the
No,
same.
sir, just thinking. Is your thinking different from mine? Therefore, is thinking different?
I really didn't understand.
The act of thinking, is it different?
It's the same.
Is it the same? You may express it in one way, and I might express it, but thinking is the same.
Is that not an assumption?
Huh?
We are assuming that thinking is an assumption. Thinking is the same. Is that not an assumption?
I'm going to show it to you, sir. Go slowly, otherwise I won't. So you think and I think, right? What is the root of thinking? What is the foundation of thinking. Is your foundation different from mine?
I would say so because of our different experiences and, let us say, conditioning.
So, conditioning, is it different?
I think so.
Wait, let's look at it. I am conditioned as a Muslim, and you are conditioned as a Hindu. The conditioning is the same, but the bricks put together may be different. But the fact that you are conditioned, the fact that I'm conditioned are the same. I don't know if I'm...
The fact is the same.
Fact is the same, but the structure may be different.
Structure of conditioning is
Different. Therefore, don't let's pay attention to the structure, but to the fact of conditioning.
that is only one part of thinking.
Are there different parts of thinking?
I think so.
Or there is only thinking which separates itself into different parts? The business part, the family part, the religious part, the scientific part. You follow? Thinking is the same, divided.
The process of thinking is the same, sir. I mean, it is almost like the cell in the body. I think, as you say, the foundation is the same.
That's all, sir.
But then, I think of different things. I
Of
put
course,
it across
of
the
course,
board.
of course.
Now,
Well,
my thought is, when you say that there should not be conflict between individual and individual, my theory is without conflict, life becomes static and so dead. Conflict is the process of life.
that is what we have been told, what we have been accustomed. But that may not be the way of living.
No, we didn't say that it is the way of living, but that is what it is.
Therefore,
Yes.
that is what is. Can that be changed? Why should I accept strife as part of my life? Why should I accept battle in myself and in you? Why? Because my books have said it in past, parents, or I say there's something radically wrong for a human being to live in strife. Strife has produced various forms, as I say, of creation, writing books and all that. But I say that's not all right. But that's not, you may produce something extraordinary if there was no strife.
I would like to come back to the same old question, sir, about my future thinking.
Future thinking, sir. Is there a future thinking?
Future, I mean, from now onwards.
Yes, sir.
This is all.
It's-
You can call it
that is,
present,
yes.
but I call
Future
it
thinking. Is there a future thinking?
present thinking and continuous with the future.
So there is only present thinking, which has modified under various influences, pressures, changes. Right, sir? So thinking, right? Has thinking a future?
I'm not thinking of the future for thinking, but I am thinking of my future thinking. That's all.
It's the same, sir. I'm asking you, has thinking a future?
Now I repeat it again, sir. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in that. I'm interested in my present and future thinking.
And that's quite a different thing. I'm interested in my present confusion, right?
Yes.
What shall I do if I'm confused? What is confusion?
It's a disorder. It's a disorder of thought.
What's up?
It's a disorder of thought.
Yeah, all right, disorder. What is disorder?
A deviation from the normal orbits.
And the daughter. Sir, he said just now, confused. What is confusion?
Disharmony.
Keep to that one word, otherwise we'll get a bit lost. He introduced disorder, you introduce harmony and disharmony. Now, what is confusion? I'm driving the car and I see two roads in front of me. And I don't know which road to take. Right, sir? That is confusion, isn't it?
Inability to choose.
Huh?
Inability to choose.
So, there are several roads in front of me. And I don't know which is the right road. And not knowing the right road is confusion.
Yes.
Right, sir? Do we agree to that? Next. But if I knew amongst all these roads which road to take, there would be no confusion. Right? So, the capacity of clarity, right, sir? Where there is clarity, there is no confusion. Right? Where the lack of clarity is confusion. Right?
Is it mere clarity or is it knowledge which is the correct road?
Clarity.
Because my vision may be perfect, but still.
No, not vision. Clarity, sir. When I'm clear, wait a minute, I'll show you something. I'm very clear that as long as there is a Muslim and a Hindu, there must be war. That's very clear. Isn't it?
Or is it an assumption?
No, but that's a fact, sir. Look, Pakistan and India. That's not an assumption. They've been killing each other, poor chaps. That's not an assumption. Women are crying. No?
We can also have exceptions for that.
What?
These
What?
are-
I accept my daughter being raped?
No, I can accept a neighbor Muslim.
No, sir. I said, as long as there is a Muslim and a Hindu, there must be conflict. I can tolerate it. You understand, sir? I
may even like it.
Yes, but when Pakistan says one thing and India says, there must be conflict. I may like my neighbor, the Muslim, but when the two sovereign governments fight, that's what we are talking about. The division between, that's a clarity, isn't it?
Yes.
Where there is division, there must be conflict. That's clarity.
I would accept that as it is possible.
No, sir. Look, sir, there is the communist world. In Russia, there are the various dissenters. That's a fact. Now, these dissenters say government must give freedom. and are being put into hospitals and mental cases and so on. So where there is division between a dissenter and the government, which is a fact, there is trouble. It's not an assumption, it is not a possibility, it is a fact. No, I don't see the difficulty in this.
But what I don't agree is that communism or Hinduism or any of these by themselves have not produced a conflict.
What has produced conflict? Human beings attached to communism, human beings attached to Muslim.
Maybe it is the individual nature. Somebody suggested earlier, the human nature itself.
What? That's what we are saying.
It
Not, yes, sir. Therefore, human nature itself has divided the world politically, religiously, right?
It has the tendency for mischief or conflict.
That's what we are
And
saying.
therefore, the divisions take the label.
Take the label. So there is in human being this fragmentary process going on. Then it gets identified with Muslim or the Christian and the battle. So where there is in the individual a fragmentation, there must be conflict.
Yes.
In the individual, in you, when you have business, religion, art, then it is broken up, there must be conflict. That's not an assumption. So, seeing that clearly, to see that clearly, ends confusion. So, confusion is the lack of clarity, which is not knowledge. I don't know. So I'm confused. After listening to you for an hour this morning, I said, my God, I don't know where I am. Right, sir? I'm confused. Why?
The ways of thinking are different.
We've been through that, sir. We've been through that. There is no ways of thinking.
How to maintain clarity as you proceed? That is his question.
Is that it? I don't think so. That's not his question.
Because I was at it. After finishing that, I won't.
No, the basic ways of thinking or whatever all it feels. I don't want to use the word knowledge because I'm not knowledgeable. Because these are borrowed ideas. And when once we know that they are borrowed ideas, I won't call it knowledge at all. These borrowed ideas so far has brought me right up to this road now. As you see, there are 7 roads. Then again, it's a borrowed idea. I see a signal post saying that this goes to Malleshwaram, this goes to Jayanagar. This is a borrowed idea again. With that idea, do you think my mind becomes clear, ways of thinking? So I
All right, sir. So you are saying truth is a fixed point. Right? And there are these roads leading to it. I question whether it's a fixed point.
And if it is not a fixed point, then the roads need not go to the same place.
Therefore, there is no road.
Then there's no clarity.
No. On the contrary, clarity is where I am, not where it will lead to. clarity in my life now.
Is that if you call it a fixed point?
What?
You call that a static point, or it's
Oh no, my life is moving. Life is changing. My relationship with you is changing all the time.
That means the truth is variable. That means the truth and the clarity are variable.
No, no. When you say there are 10 paths to that point being the truth, enlightenment, etc., etc., I say it is not like that. And you say, on what? Why do you say that? On what basis? What reason have you to say that? Right, sir? That's not a fixed point. Right? Now, why do I say it's not a fixed point? And why do you say it is a fixed point?
Because I've been conditioned by the various scriptures of our own that the truth is something which doesn't change with the time. Truth doesn't change.
That may be a factor, but not a fixed point. When you say, I take this path, as a Hindu, as a devotee, as a man of action or this or that, I'll take these various paths to that. That means that's a fixed point. Unchanging, immovable, etc., etc. I say, is that so? You say, when I ask you, why do you think it's a fixed point? And to that you say, I've been conditioned to that. And that may be wrong.
The conditioning is not wrong.
The fact of conditioning.
Yes, because that has been conditioned so far, yes. It is not wrong. It may not be the fact.
That's what I mean. It may not be the fact. So I say I must find out. Books have said it. People around me have said it. That's a fixed point. And I say I don't know. I'm going to find out. Right, sir?
Yes.
Now how shall I find out? What is the state of mind that begins to inquire? Go on, sir.
No, I'm confused that it is not this fixed one. Or probably I have the different conflict that it is not the fixed one. So I want to find out whether it is the fixed point or not.
Therefore, what is the state of my mind that begins to inquire?
It's an inquiring mind. That's
What does it mean? If I am tied to a post, I can't inquire.
Yes.
If I have a belief, if I have a fixed, direction, I can't find out. Therefore, freedom is necessary to inquire. Obviously. Otherwise, I can't inquire. Now, I say to myself, right, I don't know if it is a fixed point or not, but to find that out, my mind must be free. Right, sir? Right? Is your mind free?
No mind is free then.
Is your mind free?
No, it's not.
Just stick to that. Why not? If you are inquiring, it must be free.
It is not, sir.
Therefore, you're not inquiring.
Because even these inquiries are again, we have...
Sir, no. I say, I don't know whether truth is fixed or not fixed. I know nothing about it. People have said it is, Others have said, I don't know. I want to find out. To me, it is very important because my life is based on it. My life, my existence, everything is rooted in that. I must find out. So I say, before I begin to find out, what is the absolute necessity to find out? Freedom. Right? Right, sir? Otherwise,
Can I say something else? Well, while I want to find out the truth, whether it's fixed or not. So why not to take the path of least resistance, where it's beaten path? I find a signal post, why not I go and then find out? If it is not the truth, then let me try to wander about and find
so
out.
it means, how long will you take that? Whole life?
This takes, the independent thinking takes much more time with the
Therefore, you mean I take path after path, path after path?
even inquiries also.
That's why I'm asking you. The way you are proposing is to take various paths.
Only one path which I be.
Yes, which you have been taught. And that may lead to a fixed point, because you are being taught. You understand, sir? And I say that may, because you have been taught, you have been conditioned that way, you will find it fixed. But that may not be the fact. Like a man says, I don't know if Jesus exists or not, but I'm going to find out, and you'll find out that Jesus exists because he believes in Jesus. So, to inquire, it is absolutely necessary to have a free mind. Otherwise, you can't inquire.
Is it ever possible? Theoretically,
I am
is it
going
ever
to,
possible?
I show it to you now. What? To me, is more important than food, sex, money, position. I must find that out.
No, the objective, I do not disagree. The question to have a free mind.
I'm sure it,
is it ever
because
possible?
I want to find, the mind says I must find out. Therefore it says the first thing is I must be free. I'm going to find out where it is caught. It's caught in a belief, it's caught in a wish, a desire, pleasure. Wipe it out. I must find out.
Suppose it becomes clear to me that it is not possible,
Then,
that conditioning.
well, then finish, sir. There is no argument between you and me. Finished.
Then, does it mean that the traditional way of Guru and Shishya, someone that you do not believe?
Out.
Isn't that too much a drastic thing for people like me
Sir,
who need guidance at various stages?
you don't need guidance. You think you do. Guidance to what? To a fixed point?
Won't you ask on the way if you are taking a route to Madras from here? Don't you look at the signal post?
Of course I do.
Isn't that?
Therefore Madras is fixed. If Madras was moving, so not knowing whether it's fixed or not, I must have a mind that is capable of inquiry.
So how do we proceed?
Huh? That's how science works, huh?
Science always hypothesizes. Any man, an experimenter, he puts up his own hypothesis.
And then destroys it.
Then, no, he tries. He tries it up.
But a scientist also has no theory, no hypothesis, is penetrating, inquiring, pushing.
Even for this inquiry, he puts up a hypothesis.
So I say,
He tries it out.
so I'm saying, hypothesis must be based on the past. Otherwise it's not hypothesis. And he tries one hypothesis and says doesn't succeed, or succeeds. So a real inquirer says, I don't know, I have no hypothesis, I'm going to penetrate. Look. It's much more active, much more a greater scientist. Of course, that's how it's. We won't discuss this point later. I want to find out whether the mind is free to inquire. I want to find out, sir, if there is such a thing as God. I know books say, gurus say, I say I know nothing about it. Why should I believe them? They may be just as illusory, idiotic as the rest of the world. So I don't know a thing about it. So I say, I'm going to find out. So to find out, my mind must be free. Which means, have I a belief in God? Probably I have, because I'm frightened. Right, sir? Yes. So I said, as long as there is fear in me, I cannot investigate. Right, sir? So my problem is not investigation, to be free of fear. Is that possible? So you follow? No, sir, anything.
People who acquire this without fear, who wants freedom.
Sir, look, if you have no fear, you don't have to inquire.
I don't have fear, sir, but still I inquire. I want to know.
Huh?
I want to know whether God exists or not. I have no fear of God.
No, you have misunderstood. I want to inquire if there is such thing as God. There may be or there may not be. I want to inquire. So I say to myself, have I a belief in God? I've been brought up to believe in God or not believe in God. So my belief is based on fear.
No.
Comfort.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing.
Comfort is not fear.
Of course. I should do right.
So the presence of my mother is a comfort to me, but it's not fear.
Take away your mother, you're frightened.
So that means you think that it is because of fear I have the comfort, because of lack of fear I have the comfort?
No, sir. If I rely on my mother for comfort, because I cannot stand alone, which means I'm frightened to stand alone.
It could be the other way also.
Which way?
I would argue this way.
Which way?
Because I am losing comfort.
What?
I get the fear of losing the comfort.
We just said things.
So this is the other way around now. It is not gaining comfort. Now I have comfort. Now I fear subsequently when my mother goes away. Now I have lost the comfort.
Yeah, which is fear.
That is fear.
Yeah. Or put it down the other way.
What do you think of as a positive quality?
Which?
The comfort itself. It is not deprivation of the fear.
So is there such thing as comfort?
Then I would ask you, is there something like fear?
Obviously.
No. Then if you think that there is no comfort, then I would say there is no fear also, sir.
So now we discuss in abstraction or in reality?
Of course, I do not talk of realities now. I would take up abstract portion.
No. Is fear an abstraction or a reality?
It's not.
Huh?
It's not a reality, it's an abstraction now.
Reality means, is it a fact? Is that what is in life? Are you not afraid?
Oh,
Dozen things. Death, standing alone. Huh?
I'm not afraid.
Then your mind is free to inquire.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
That means you have no conditional belief that it is a fixed point.
No, I take that still as a guidance.
And you see, the moment you keep that as a guidance, it's fixed. Therefore, your mind is not free.
I agree with this.
Therefore, it's incapable of inquiry. So the first thing, sir, is freedom. Otherwise, you can't move.
Does that automatically maintain clarity? Now I'm coming back to the old question.
Not automatic. There's nothing automatic in life.
Now, insurance of freedom. Then how would you maintain clarity in the further progress?
If I may, sir, when you say how to maintain, you can't maintain it. Clarity is not the product of time.
Yes.
Right? When you use the word maintain, which implies time,
As we move in time.
yes, it implies time. Therefore, if clarity is the product of time, it is not. It's not an assumption. You can examine it.
We agree, Professor, that inquiry has been the main thesis of leadership.
What's
We
up?
went on inquiring and came to some conclusion. And we have the benefit of all these inquiring to guide. I have to cut off from the past and start at this moment and start inquiring. I would rather spend the entire life in the question mark only. I will not come to a conclusion, and maybe the conclusion I come to is also totally false.
But we never come to a conclusion.
No.
No, sir, what you are saying is these people in the past inquired and came to a conclusion. When they have come to a conclusion, they have stopped inquiring.
Right.
Therefore, I won't accept their conclusion.
Well,
I you don't see it. He has come to a conclusion that is a fixed point. And others have said, through their inquiry, come to a conclusion, to a fixed point of their own. I said, in inquiry, there is no conclusion.
Then why do I inquire?
Huh?
Why do I inquire?
if it leads me nowhere,
Oh, you don't.
because if I inquire, it is likely that I will also come to a fixed point. Why should I inquire?
So, look, man suffers, both biologically, physiologically, as well as psychologically. I want to find out if there is an end to suffering. Not words, you understand? Not description, not intellectual games, gamuts, and all. I want to find out. What shall I do? How do you inquire?
And I inquire by questioning what has been told to me. What I have learned from
No,
the
sir.
scriptures.
Do you say that when you are suffering? you are suffering, you have got a toothache, you go to the dentist, who has inquired, found, right. When you suffer, not you, sir, when I suffer, my son is dead, I start inquiring.
Not at that moment, I see.
That is the moment that matters. Not at the moment when I say, well, I'm suffering, what shall I do? And look, they're playing tricks.
May I ask you one question, sir? If you can pardon me.
Please, sir, you can ask anything. You don't have to ask my pardon, you can do anything.
With your ways of inquiries, have you found out that there is no fixed point? Have you come to your point of the so-called Ananda, which we call it a fixed point, a truth?
I can't answer that question, sir. Because you have an idea, a description, not a reality. Right? If I answered that question, I would be answering a person who hasn't inquired and seen something. This is not an evasion of the questions.
Yes.
I don't evade. When you say, have you come to that? I say, look, happiness is something that cannot be described. Right, sir? The moment you describe it, it is not. Right? So don't describe it. Books have described it. Right?
I don't think any book has described Ananda.
But you have used the word Ananda.
But almost in the same terms as you did. It cannot be described.
Who
It is
says
described
that? But therefore you don't use the
beyond
word.
definition.
You don't use the definition. You don't describe.
No, but it really sounds it's not merely a coincidence, but whatever you are describing is exactly the Ananda that has been described.
Oh no, I haven't described. Forgive me, sir, I haven't described. I have described that to find out if there's a fixed point, mind must be free. That's not a description.
Would I put it in another way, sir?
Put it in.
With your inquiries and the freedom,
Sir,
what pardon, sir.
yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
What people have described was something akin to Ananda or Samadhi. Would you believe or disbelieve with your inquiries now?
Disbelieve what they have said?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what they have said. What you say, what they say, I don't know.
I'll put a straight question, sir, now. Have you experienced anything, something beyond the normal? What we call Ananda, which you know what we call.
You see, sir, if you say to me, ask me, is there a state of mind which is not in time? Right, sir? I say yes. You may say, I'm a bit touched. I say, yes, I'm a bit touched. You follow, sir? You may say a little bit odd because mentally he's caught in an illusion. I say, maybe. But if you ask a question, not what the books say, you follow, sir? Then I can't answer. But if you say, look, Is there such state of a dimension, a state where time is not? And we both understand what is the implication of that question. You understand? So the implication, not just the word. The implication being an action which is timeless. I don't know all that's involved in this. I say hesitantly yes. Because I don't know if you understand the schematic meaning of that word. If we both understand the meaning of that word in all its wholly, not fragmentarily, they say yes. And I say that's not important. What is important is whether you have understood, moved in that direction. Not what somebody else has got it, so forget it.
Is it possible to inquire pursuing a particular profession or the daily activities of a person, as most of us have to do something every day? Do we have to set aside some time for this? Or it is an eternal process itself?
It is every minute of it. It's not something you put away and come back to. That's what the old tricks, that's been all our days. That's what we have done. We go to the temple at weekends or during the day, and the rest of the week you cheat. Not you, sir, but I mean. Like these politicians go to the guru, the rest of the week they're corrupt. You see, so our difficulty is we have not real humility. You follow, sir? That is inquiry. You don't have to inquire. You understand? If there is that sense of real humility, not knowing, I don't know, then the doors are open. You can't induce humility. Cultivate humility. We must stop, mustn't we? Tape is over too.
Yes. Actually, you have taken us to another chapter, sir.
What's that?
It is not possible to induce humility, cultivate humility. How many would have this innate humility? I don't know.
Sir, I think one can see humility. Vanity has its opposite, right? Humility has no opposite.
I should say that vanity is the opposite of humility.
Vanity